Hey heroes, welcome in. We are your hosts for hire. I am Lucas Rand. This is Kyle Cage. Now, before we get into it today, we have an exciting episode. But right off the bat, if you guys like this type of content, please like, share, subscribe. That's at Hosts4Hire podcast with the number 4. So we're going to be talking about Daredevil, Born Again, episodes 1 and 2. If you haven't seen them, if you haven't seen it at all, please go no further. Consider this your major spoiler warning.
Yes. Oh man, we don't want to ruin this for anything, especially. All right, we're gonna get right into it, especially the first 15 minutes. We do not want to ruin it for anyone because holy shit, that fight! Like, okay, here's my overall take. Just get it out right off the bat. The episode required a lot of exposition, a lot of explanation, a lot of build up to get to where they are now in the MCU from where they were. That was just going to be necessary. So I am personally really glad that they filled the first 15 minutes, first quarter of the episode with just badassery.
Yeah.
Like for the most part, it was just absolute badassery. At least 10 of the 15 minutes.
Yeah. Right off the bat, the first thing I noticed was, dude, how many knives were sticking out of Matt?
That was so cool.
Sick, dude.
That was so cool.
Like I told you, we were talking about it yesterday when we made the episode of what we were hoping for out of this. That dude, Bullseye was so cool, dude. Everything, every opportunity he had was a shot at somebody or at Matt. Like he was just so cool.
One of my other things is that I really loved is that he clearly purposely left Karen alive so that it would because it was about the suffering.
Right.
It was about causing as much suffering as possible, and like that was the way to do it. That was amazing. Brutal. There was a quote right even before the fight though, which I did like. One of the cops talking to the retiring cop, and he's like, "Vigilantes." She's like, "Vigilantes are just like us. Some are stand up, and some are like addicted to power.
Right.
Like
some are worthy of the badge, and some are like not.
Power tripping assholes." That was the.
Yeah, that was a really good line. But yeah, dude, just that fight in general, so sick. Just so much. Also, R.I.P. Foggy. You know.
Yeah, that was. I didn't see that coming at all.
What's actually funny about that is that like they kind of hid under like their own smoke because like originally I had heard that the plot of Born Again before it like became what it is now was that Foggy and Karen were dead, and it was like Matt essentially having like nobody and like.
Having quit,
and like becoming Daredevil full time, right? So, but then like I guess like they didn't like that, and like they like went through like a whole rewriting, and it like was to bring Foggy and Karen into the show because they were such integral parts of.
Only to write Foggy out and replace him.
Just bow Foggy right in the chest.
There were two moments in that, like when Foggy actually died, and then like. So as he died, like
Matt was listening for his heartbeat the whole time.
Exactly.
Good.
And as soon as his heart stopped, he threw him off the ledge. He threw him off the building. He was like, he died, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Like that was it. Like as soon as he dies, you're dead. Like
where he's just like sitting there with him.
And he just looks at him and laughs like because I hate you. Like
that's so good. Well, the thing that's interesting is like to me right away, that felt like very indiscriminate of Bullseye. Where like obviously he was trying to kill Foggy, right? That was the target. Foggy
but after that, he just wanted to.
He was just indiscriminately killing, which like is very odd to me because like Bullseye is very much the like target assassin. He's an assassin guy. The fact that he got caught and like that's all very suspect to me with Kingpin right now. Like that's all very like it feels like a plan that like we're just not in on yet.
I will say, after he threw him off the building, I literally sat there with my mouth agape. I
literally was like, oh!
I couldn't believe what I was, and I literally wrote down, I was like, damn, I guess Bullseye isn't in it. And then he opens his eyes, and I wrote down, how the fuck?
I also have down, so like, is he alive because like maybe it wasn't that far of a drop, like blah 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 blah.
7 stories.
Or at the end of, or is it his cybernetic body?
That's what I'm thinking.
Does he have this? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the Netflix Daredevil, there's like a scene of them like giving him his like cybernetic.
And it shows that he's all scarred up and shit from the surgeries in the courtroom later, so it would make sense. Yeah.
So
But
yeah,
yes, dude. My point is that like a lot about this was instantly. I was like, yes. Like I wrote down, fuck, yes. Oh my god, yes. Because like there were just so many scenes with like Daredevil double punching him, and like we were talking about in the episode we made with our hopes about. I talked about the fight choreography, and it seems like they.
I hope it still elevates from here. I'm not gonna lie, because this was cool. I don't think that this really topped a whole lot.
Some of season 4 and 3 and 4, even 1 and 2 of the original. I agree.
It was definitely really cool. But yeah, I definitely would like some more. One of my actual negatives on this is like, while I get it and while I get that it's necessary for the story, him quitting being Daredevil and all this stuff, we've seen it in the Netflix thing. His whole like, I don't want to be Daredevil like arc, so to speak. Give me more Daredevil.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm a generous man. I'll take it for one episode. You know? One episode. I'm cool with it, man. In this next episode, if it's like Daredevil rises at the end of episode 2, I will have more to say about that.
Yeah. Well, especially because like
episodes, man. Like this
wouldn't be. I was just about to say
it was more episodes, but like, bruh, like, come on. If you guys are doing the like smaller episode thing and you're condensing like a story and stuff, you also have to like, man, give us some Daredevil. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, like we did see, a good like I said, like 7-8 minutes in a 60-minute episode, but that's not what we're looking for here, guys.
It's not enough.
One of the last things I had down here that I wanted to touch on was it's like, to me it seems like almost like Kingpin's plan from the beginning to the whole thing of becoming mayor was to sow chaos so that he could force Matt to become Daredevil again. At the end there, with him looking down from up top and Daredevil being on the ground,
like he's God. Matt's the devil. Like he's looking down, Matt's looking up. That was a really cool like cinematography. Like
and what it made me think as well was that like the way he's like looking like it's gonna work. Like Matt, this will bring the devil back. Like he's trying to goad Matt into coming out.
What his ultimate
angle
plan
is. Yeah, what his angle is.
Like he says to Vanessa, like, I know you have a man. Like, you know what I mean? She's like, don't hurt him. He's like, no worries. I'm a different man.
Give a shit. Yeah.
Matt like steps up to him. He's like, no even worries, guys. I'm a different man. Like I'm waiting to see the other foot drop where like he's gonna kill that motherfucker for touching Vanessa. He's gonna, you know what I mean? Like I'm waiting to see like what the actual plan is, because like that's cool if he's trying to goad Matt into becoming Daredevil, but why?
Well, so that he can use his position of power as mayor to out him and eliminate him in the correct, using the correct channels, instead of just hunting down and murdering him, like trying to use political channels to do it within the confines of the law.
Good guy
to use the law against him,
though. You know what I mean? Like I want the other shoe to drop. Like,
same. I agree.
I will not enjoy that if he's like, I'm a good guy now. I'm going by the right means. Vigilantes are bad for society.
Yeah. How hard he's like harping on vigilantism being the problem. It's clearly that's his motive, to try and remove any obstacles that he went to jail because of vigilantes. If he removes vigilantes, he can then do whatever he wants without repercussions, and no one will be there to stop him, because the police couldn't do it before.
Other vigilantes are gonna rise maybe in this show. They already talked about White Tiger, like we know he's coming, but like I'm wondering if we're gonna see like Peter, like
Spider-Man, because he talks about Queens. She's like when he's on the date with a girl, he's like, have you seen Hell's Kitchen lately? He's like, you should see Queens.
By the way, my boy Matt's got some riz, dude.
Yeah.
He lathered that shit on, dude. He's like, I was watching it and we were like taking notes.
Oh yeah. That's a good one.
Be genuine. Listen. Very key. Having good ears is very impressive. Good ears. She says, wow. Two wows.
Speaking of the good ears, though, that is also one of my favorite things. How they're depicting the way he's using it in this.
How he can dial it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the way that they're
sick,
and like sometimes like the way when certain things happen, he like dials into a specific thing, but that just means he's hearing all of it.
Right. And he's just
and he's like slowly
choosing.
processing it one at a time. But he is processing it all.
I really do like that. Actually, before we go and we watch episode 2, because we haven't watched episode 2 yet.
So we're gonna watch episode 2, and then we'll be right back immediately to do episode 2.
But before we go, the last thing that I really like when he's sitting down with Fisk, and he tells him that line where he's like, "I believe in like whatever he says, like that people can change." You know, like I believe in like the divine can touch somebody and like they can become a new man. So if you're telling me that you're a new man, then fine. But I also believe in retribution. So if you step out of line, I will be there. Dude, that shit had my spine tingling, dude. I was like, oh! It was just so reminiscent of that line in the comics where he's like, I'm right with God. And he's like, oh, if you were right with God, they wouldn't have
sent the devil. I also had thought of that during that scene.
Had that vibe where like, I also believe in retribution and I will fucking come for you, dude. And I'm the devil.
Yep. You can't escape the devil.
That shit was awesome. I really like that. I really like that.
That's the other now that I said the phrase "you can't escape the devil," that was another thing that I really liked about the Bullseye scene at the beginning, was when he could not escape him. No matter what Bullseye tried to do, he could not escape.
When he comes up from behind him, when he like poses real dope and the shit, I was like, oh, dude, you just see knives like sticking out of him. Bullseye's like, he's like, nah.
Like, how? What is this thing?
Coming for your ass, dude. That's pretty bad.
You can't escape the devil. That's like his whole thing.
It's almost like that whole Batman thing when we were talking about in the Batman, where the people are shooting point blank at his chest, and it's like nothing's working. To that guy, Batman is like this amorphous, like ethereal, like being. You know,
terrifying.
In this case, Bullseye knows that Matt is Daredevil, right? So like that kind of facade drops, but still like to other people watching who were there that day who didn't see, like Daredevil like had just knives sticking out of his body like 10. You know, like we can assume that not all of them hit, you know, like that his Kevlar like protected him from a few.
Yeah.
But like can assume that a majority of them did hit because Bullseye was the one throwing them.
Yeah, there were like 12, 15 knives. At least 8 of them were hitting
you're seeing this man and he's like still going. Still like it just adds to this like lore of Daredevil. You know, that like he like can't, like he's the devil, you know, he can't be stopped.
And that shit is so cool. You can't get away from him.
Ugh. I love that shit. Like that stuff is just really cool to me. Also,
sorry, go on.
No. I was just gonna say that splat scene again. Like he pushes him off. Like my first thought was like, "Oh, this is the type of show this is gonna be."
Yeah,
I was just like, "Oh."
When in reality, like I also that thought was like, oh, but then they make it like that crossed the line. He stopped being him for a year because of that. Like, you know, I was like, okay,
dude, damn it.
Oh man, and more scenes keep popping up when they first show Bullseye and there's the fly on the light, and he hits it with the
paperclip.
Dope. Amazing.
Super sick.
I really hope we see more of Bullseye in this. I hope we get more of the badassery. It seems like the trajectory the show is going on is good.
Give me more Daredevil. I want more. You teased me. I want more.
Yeah. I want
guys, if you have enjoyed this so far, stick with us. We are going to go watch episode 2 and we will be right back.
Hey, and we're back. We watched episode 2. So right off the bat, let's get it out of the way. There wasn't more Daredevil.
There wasn't more Daredevil.
There wasn't even the rising of the Daredevil like you said you wanted earlier.
Well, I didn't want. I was like, I don't want Daredevil to like rise out of the end of the episode. Not even that happened. So, not gonna lie, bro. I'm glad you got it out of the way right away because
I knew it was gonna be a big issue for you, and I'm not gonna lie. This episode was a little boring. It was
Yeah,
lackluster, in my
dude. Like,
opinion.
I'm not gonna
Like,
lie, man. One thing I have written down is it was cool, and like I get it, man, and whatever. But like, dude,
there were a lot of good parts of it. Yeah,
sure, but like, why am I watching Fisk and Vanessa go to couples therapy, dude? Like, I don't care if
weird.
it's for 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, dude. That's 2 minutes that could be used elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Nobody cares about that. Like, why are we having to sit through watching that on a finite thing, man?
Yeah.
Like, that really bothered me. I'm not gonna
There's
lie.
7 more episodes, and they need to slap. In my
Like,
opinion, the first episode, the first 15 minutes of the first episode is the by and far the highlight of this 2 hours.
yeah,
Of
dude.
the 2 hours,
God, that just
an
doesn't do
eighth
it.
of
That's
it,
not.
an eighth of it was really good.
That's
Yeah.
like
Well,
that's
that being said,
not
though, there
enough
were
for
some
me.
few things like we talked about earlier whether Fisk the shoe is going to drop. It seemed like the shoe already dropped with him with the
Blood on
police
his knuckles.
commissioner, the bloodied knuckles, the threatening the police commissioner.
The police commissioner was going off at him, and I was like, "Boy, you better shut up!" I
Yeah,
was
he's
like,
gonna learn you.
"Boy, you better shut up!" I don't know if you know what it is to know about knowing stuff, but
And one of the things we talked about earlier was like how many vigilantes, which vigilantes he was referring to. It seems like there's the 4 of them: the Spider-Man, Punisher, Daredevil, and White Tiger. Like so far, that seems like White Tiger's the
like
newest
street
one
level
because
heroes.
yeah, like it seems like those are the
Really like
vigilantes
that
that
White
he's going
Tiger
after.
stuff. I can see where this is going. Okay, well, the one thing to me, there's 2 best parts of this episode for me. Number 1 was when Matt walks into the courtroom and there's all the cops and he's like, Draquois Noir,
Right.
the scent of New York's finest. I was like, that is fucking brilliant, dude. I love that so much.
Yeah.
There's layers to that joke, dude. Okay, I love it.
That was definitely a highlight.
The the dude that was beating on those, like, the dirty cops, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed, but he had a Punisher tattoo.
The Punisher tat.
That's
I wrote that down. I was curious about that. That's interesting.
In my mind, I really hope that this is where they're going with it, because you know how in our real world, there's lots of real world allegories going on in this show. So in our real world, lots of people toting the thin blue line thing love that Punisher logo. You know what I'm talking about? How, like, you know what I'm talking about? Just like the Punisher logo in general. You know, like, people think that, like, the Punisher stands for, like, law and order. You know, even though, like, anyone who knows who the Punisher is knows the literal exact opposite. So follow me here, dude. If they do this, I'm going to be super stoked. What I think they're setting up is this, like, line of dirty cops, right? All this shit. I would love to see, like, that rise, you know, like this kind of like a Punisher gang of cops, you know, where they're like, we're like on the Punisher side.
And then Punisher
come through and
kills them all.
Kill them, dude. I am hella stoked for that, dude. I'm chomping at the bits for that, dude. If it doesn't come, it's going to be my next big disappointment. Because, like,
they mentioned Spider-Man. Punisher is for sure going to be in it. White Tiger is going to be in it. So, like, hopefully with these next 7 episodes, with the rest of the season, they really push hard with the vigilantism, and we get to see more being of vigilantes than just
man. Because, like,
the courtroom.
I gotta be honest, like you said, the first 15 minutes of episode 1, bang. The last, like, 5 minutes of this episode too. By the way, like, if we're gonna talk about, like, cool stuff.
When he snaps his arm, Jesus,
dude, that whole fight was so brutal. Like,
also,
really. I love how Matt is like, please, like, oh no,
like, don't make me.
Oh, I'm gonna beat your ass. God damn it.
Like, he just let him beat the shit out of him. And he would have let him beat the shit out of him for a while longer until it became about his life. And then he's like, "Oh, damn it! Now I have to defend myself.
Now I'm gonna beat the shit out of him." One of my lights just went out, by the way, so I was like, I got a little bit of darkness coming from this.
I was wondering what that was.
That's okay. We're just gonna power right through. We're just gonna power right through.
But for real though, like with Matt, the way that he reacted, he was literally like, "I don't want to do this, please," and they just like forced
the
him
door
to
and
do
it's
it.
just Matt there. The smile he gives them, where he's like, "Not me."
He's like, "No, not who you
Oh,
expected, huh?"
now you're gonna expect it, huh? You dirty old fucking cops. Also, I love. He was like, "Where did he go?" He's like, like,
I'm visually impaired.
"I'm
I don't.
blind, my boy."
I wish I could help you. Yeah,
Really,
that was really good.
look on his face of the like, you're so fucked.
Yeah,
Like,
one of the things I really enjoyed about that scene too was just like how confident he was. He was
oh
just
yeah,
like I'm not afraid of you at
yeah.
all.
Like
And you can
when he
see
turns on
that.
the thing, like their beating didn't have an effect on him. Like when he turns on,
No.
he's just like boom. Like he's just as fast and agile. Like you know what I mean? Like he had 12 knives in him. Like
Yeah, he
beating
doesn't give a shit what these
was
little cops
absolutely
do.
nothing, dude. Like he just
But what I was getting at, what I really like is that what gets them to really start beating him is the fact that he doesn't care and isn't afraid of them. You can see that that irks the main cop, that
yeah.
like that pisses him off, and he hits him, and
Yeah.
that's when he hits him when he's like, I'm
Also,
not gonna help you, and there's nothing you can do to get
in
me
the
to help
beginning
you.
there when White Tiger goes to help that dude, fucking fatality on that cop. That was literally that had me. You know how in the beginning that like boop to the floor with Bullseye had me like, whoa. This one had me like, oh. I literally
Jeez.
I was like fucking fatality, dude. Like, goddamn. That was
Yeah, but like,
brutal.
and you can see that that clearly was actually an accident. He was standing
Really
there like, oh
excited to
fuck,
see.
like
I'm
that
really
is
excited
not
to
what I
see
wanted to
the
happen.
progression of this because like as far as comic fans know, Hector has to die, and then his daughter takes
Yep.
over as the White Tiger. Um,
Here's the thing.
really
Here's the
excited to see
interesting
the
thing about
progression of
that.
that and how that's going to go
Well,
forward.
here's the really interesting thing about that, and like they haven't introduced a daughter in the first two episodes.
No,
The actor passed away right after filming this. He
for
passed
White
away at
Tiger.
the end of 2023. Yeah, at the beginning of this episode, the Camar de los Reyes, that's White Tiger. So
Really?
that dude passed away over a year ago. Yeah, like right after
Man,
they finished filming.
that's really sad.
So
Sucks.
that I'm curious to know if what they're gonna do going forward. If they're gonna like
Well, like I said,
have him
I'm
have a
expecting to
daughter,
have him had. Well, not necessarily. I'm
get a
expecting her
strange
to
daughter.
exist in this
That's what I
already.
mean, like
You
an
know?
estranged daughter that
Yeah. I'm expecting her to exist already. She just hasn't been like mentioned. They're kind of just keeping it back about her. I'm assuming, at least I would be surprised, to be
yeah.
honest, if he made it out of this season. I was expecting him to die. Like
No,
this
and they
progression is
mentioned
going
the
from
amulet already
he's
that
gonna
like
die.
he has the amulet that
Right.
gives powers, so that's
hmm
like that it can be passed
Right.
on. The White Tiger can be
Yeah.
anyone who has
I'm
that
assuming that
amulet.
like
Like
whether they had the plan or not. Obviously, his passing is like probably sudden and tragic, but I would assume that like his role was
he was
finished.
in Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
mean? That
Yeah.
like he,
But we'll see. We'll see if they were gonna maybe have it going forward. Have like if they did it in this season or not? We'll
yeah,
see.
I
I don't
really
know.
hope they did. I would be very like
Yeah,
surprised.
me
Like I
too.
said, even without knowing that, I'd have been very surprised if White Tiger made it through this season. He's not supposed to. The the
No,
Hector
that's like
version of the White
the
Tiger is
story.
kind of like Uncle Ben. You just got to get him out of the way so that Spider Man can do the Spider Manning. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Speaking of Uncle Ben, Ben Urich's niece,
yeah,
Uncle Ben,
right. The whole BB. I actually really
BB
like that.
Urich.
Yeah, that's something
Yeah,
that I
me too.
really enjoyed.
I thought that was I thought that was great. But I also literally wrote down Uncle Ben, LOL, because like it's her Uncle Ben who
Yeah.
passed away, and is like her origin is her Uncle Ben,
That's
like trying to
funny.
live up to her Uncle Ben. I feel like her and
That's
Spider
funny.
Man are gonna meet and become friends. Anyway, the hope for this for me going forward now is just like we said we've been saying for forever in every episode, more Daredevil, especially after this disappointment of only
If this is
seeing.
what came out, let's say if this was a movie, right? Movies are about 2 hours long. If this was a movie that came out, I would be disappointed in this movie. If this was a Daredevil movie and this is what we got, I'd be disappointed in this movie. This would not be a good movie.
Yeah.
In any way, shape,
well,
or
and
form.
granted, that's a hard. I mean, that's a that's a hard, because they knew how much time they had to tell their story. If they had 2 hours to tell an entire story, it would be written differently. But
I feel the
I
same
agree
way
in
as
that,
like in a 2-hour movie when there's like a 2-minute or 5-minute scene of something that's totally unnecessary. I feel the exact same way. Like that's exactly
case in point.
Just because they had a longer time frame doesn't mean that they're not wasting scenes. Just
exactly.
like a 2-hour movie.
Case in point, the you mentioned it earlier, the therapy scene. Totally unnecessary.
Like there was so many more, dude. Like there's like again, I wrote in episode 1. Why do we have this weird thing about watching Kingpin eat slowly? Like it was throughout all the Netflix series, there was like small scenes of Kingpin like cutting an egg or like cutting like
eating that chicken and like eating that sandwich. Yeah,
just like why do we have this like weird like?
They're 2 for 2 on episodes with Wilson Fisk eating things slowly and weirdly,
like that weird like angle where it's like an elegant like, and he's just like
where it flips upside down.
Like, yeah, and it's like cutting the like egg elegantly. And he's just like, like I don't know why we're doing that. Like, why are we doing that?
It's weird.
Maybe I'm touched with the brush of like elegance and like theater and like plus cinema. So I don't know.
Yeah, we're just some plebs over here.
That stuff is weird to me. I don't know. Educate me.
I just want to be.
I did enjoy the air of like, oh, Kingpin is a threatening dude. Came back this episode.
Yeah, not just through illegal, but legal and illegal channels now. Like now he has like the commissioner was like, why would you give up all that power for less money and less power? And like he doesn't understand that Kingpin is just accumulating more power. He not only now he has the underworld power and the overworld power. Right. Now he just has both. He's just adding to what he already had. Right. Like he didn't give anything up.
One thing that I will say before we go is I find it interesting. I like that scream at the end of the episode that like Matt lets out. Because to me that like is almost like a like fuck, like I'm in, like now I have to do this.
That was him. To me, what I got out of that was him being upset that he lost the fight and it's over. That like his fight with himself to not be Daredevil is over, and he lost. But like, that scream was him like being upset about it, but also accepting it.
Right, like it's him realizing that like there's this type of shit, and like this type of shit requires Daredevil. Like it's like almost like a reluctance, like you said, to accept.
Yeah, like they were
like fuck. Like
these police officers were willing to kill an attorney, a lawyer, who's someone who's in the system and is known. Like they were willing to just kill him. That means that there's no fixing it from within. Yeah. Like you can't just fix it from within. You have to go a little outside the lines.
Yeah, I'm very
which frustrated him. Like he was upset with
that was cool. So that's maybe
portrayal wise again.
I'm gonna become Daredevil like again scene, and I hope that like in episode 3 that they just make it quick, man.
I want episode 3 to start with a Daredevil chase scene. I want him chasing someone down. Right, like Same. I want the opening scene.
Same.
I have a feeling that's what's going to happen.
Trailer, we saw like all his different suits, right? We saw like his yellow one that he wore in She-Hulk. We saw like a silver one, like a black one, and like the normal one. I want to see those.
We've only seen the one.
I guess what I mean is like I want to see them in action rather than it being like that. Those were his past suits. You know what I mean? I want to see those as if like those are the suits that we're going to see in action, not just like a little like Easter egg at some past suits. Like gosh.
And again, I pointed this out in the previous episode where we talked about it, but like I want the suits to also like have a purpose. Like he wears this suit for this reason. He wore this suit during this time for this reason, not just aesthetic changes. Mm-hmm.
I agree with that.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
What did you guys think about the first 2 episodes? Yeah, like we were very curious, very up and down about it. There was a lot of highs, some lows, definitely some lows. Trying to be more objective on the first watch throughs here.
Episode 2 hit me on a low note. Let us know if you guys agree with that. Like Kyle was saying, it's really hard to be objective, and we are trying our best. So, like I would like to be vocal about the things that upset me, and also granderize the things that were awesome.
Praise what needs praising. Last thing I want to say is praise what needs praising. The performances, exactly what we wanted. We talked about it. How good Vincent D'Onofrio, Charlie Cox, all of them are killing it. They're killing it so far. I really am curious to see how much of Bullseye is going to be in it going forward.
Same. I hope it's more.
Yeah, me too.
It's more of everything. Like the thing that's upsetting me is like I want more of everything, and I know that I only have 7 episodes left, and that's
seems finite.
Well, that's enough for them to do it well. But like, if this is the trajectory that we're on, it's not going to be enough.
To say the least, episode 3 needs to up the ante. And then it needs to go up from there until the finale.
100. That feels gluttonous, I'm just like, give me more. But like, bro, like when you like hype something up like this, and you like that, like they know, like Daredevil, probably over the last 3 years is the most hyped thing to come.
It has to be the most highly anticipated movie besides the new Avengers movies. Besides Doomsday and Secret Wars.
I'd say for me personally, more so than the Fantastic Four movie. Like this TV series, I've been more hyped over waiting for them to get done shooting, waiting for it to come. Like I've been just so excited for it. So like, man, if you guys agree with us that you want some more, please get in the comments. Talk to us about what you want more. What are the specifics that you want going forward? All I want is just more badassery.
Yeah, make sure you like, share, and subscribe as well at Hosts4Hire podcast so that we can keep this growing. Give us some more ideas about episodes you want us to talk about. Help us out by liking, sharing, subscribing. We will catch you with the next episode, and thank you for stopping by.